Greetings fellow dwarfers, explaining the change in Kryten. Welcome to Red Dwarf Nerd, I'm Dan. In today's theory episode, I'm going to try and find an in-universe explanation for the major Season 3 change to the look of Kryten. In the brilliant Season 3 opener backwards, we meet Kryten for the second time on screen, now played by Robert Llewellyn with the familiar, boxy, metallic-looking Kryten body. But of course he didn't always appear this way. The Season 2 episode Kryten saw David Ross play the part, with not only a different face and voice, but also a completely different size and style of body. Season 3's comically hard to read opening crawl gave us a vague, catch-all explanation that, between the seasons, Kryten, the service mechanoid who had left the ship after being rescued from his own crashed vessel, the Nova 5, is found in pieces after his spacebike crash lands onto an asteroid. Lister rebuilds the Noid, but he fails to recapture his former personality. Now the brief fails to recapture his former personality explanation is fine for explaining away Kryten's change of voice and personality compared to his Season 2 version, given that it was well established in Body Swap that an individual's voice and personality are directly linked in the Red Dwarf universe.
What's happening? What the hell is going on?
But why would his body be so completely different after Lister's rebuild? Literally every detail's different, and he's even noticeably taller. I think we need to dig a little deeper on this one. Okay, first up, let's quickly establish just what is the baseline, normal appearance for a Series 4000 mechanoid. Unsurprisingly, it's the boxy post-Season 3 style. This is made clear in Season 7's Beyond the Joke, where we meet another 4000 series Abel, who, other than a green paint job, is more or less identical to the Robert Llewellyn Kryten. Or should that be, they're both more or less identical to John Warburton. Later in Season 12's Siliconia, we also meet dozens of other 4000s sharing a similar body and head style to the Robert Llewellyn Kryten. So we can take it that the post-rebuild style Kryten is the norm for a 4000 series droid. So what's going on with this smaller, non-metallic looking faux dinner suited butler version of Kryten with his strange looking face? Well, to explain what's happening in this very early episode, we have to come right forward to some of the most recent, including the very most recent, The Promised Land. Here we got to see Kryten in a poor state of repair that we're really not familiar with. He's rusty, patched up, his chest monitor's broken, and he's certainly not looking his best. Check out my Promised Land breakdown to find out more details. Crucially, the Promised Land showed us that without servicing, the usually meticulously tidy Kryten can literally start to fall apart at the seams as wear and tear takes its toll. Knowing then that the Season 2 Kryten was alone on the Nova 5 for millennia upon millennia, and knowing now that he does degrade without servicing, it's easy to postulate that the shabby, wrinkly appearance of his face could be due to wear and tear over the years. Sure, the real-world explanation was simply that it was early days and the Kryten mask just wasn't as well refined, but as an in-world reason, I think the face deteriorating over the millennia is a good shout. And lastly, the change in his body could be explained in a few different ways. Firstly, given how often the later Kryten seems to have upgraded the design of his body throughout the years, presumably to better suit the requirements of those dangerous deep space missions, having to act as Red Dwarf's part-time sanitation droid and Lister's full-time mum, we could suppose that the butler body may have just been an extremely modified version of a standard body, tweaked over centuries by Kryten himself to suit his fairly singular needs as he acted as butler aboard the crashed Nova 5. Then, when Dave later rebuilt him, he probably just utilised standard 4000 series parts, or perhaps even just performed a complete body replacement, putting him back to standard. Alternatively, given that his metal outer parts were shown to rust in the Promised Land, and given the astounding amount of time he was stranded aboard the Nova 5, the metallic outer sections could simply have rusted away and needed to be discarded. That shiny looking suit could actually be a patched up and re-stylized version of what pokes out around the later Kryten's joints. And, as a final possibility, the recent episode Crisis showed us that when available, Kryten can simply swap his body to a different model at will. In the case of Crisis, Kryten swapped to a flashy, gaudy style body just to satisfy his midlife crisis. But I think it's easy to imagine that different bodies could be selected to fulfill specialist roles. Perhaps a tougher body for harsh environments, perhaps one for extremely cold conditions, or perhaps a less metallic, less bulky body for a role like having to act as butler to 3 wounded crew members for an extended period of time. I actually quite like this complete body swap idea, as it keeps with something we've actually seen on screen. But any of the 3 possibilities seem valid to me. So there you have it, fellow dwarfers. Yes, the boring real-world explanation for Kryten's change of body is simply the change of actors, the advancement of the makeup technology, and a reimagining of the body design. But I think the change of body can be fairly neatly fitted into an in-universe explanation using the technology, techniques and conventions of Red Dwarf. His voice changed because his personality was lost, his face changed through wear and tear, and his body changed because it had either extensively worn out, been extensively modified, or completely swapped to fit Kryten's Nova 5 duties. Well, let me know what you think of these ideas in the comments below. Do you have a better explanation? Let me know down below. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. I've got loads more theory videos like this. If you want to go check them out on my channel, I'd really appreciate it. And if you've enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe if you want to see more, and click the bell icon so you know when the next video is out. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, Smegheads.